Let me tell you a story about a kid named Liam Thompson. He grew up in one of those small towns in Ohio where everyone knows your name, and big dreams often feel out of reach. His parents were amazing. His dad worked at a factory. His mom was a nurse, and they worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Money was always tight, but love and support, that was always in abundance. From a young age, Liam was different. While other kids were playing video games, he was the one taking apart old radios, tinkering with computers, and filling notebooks with wild ideas for inventions. He didn't just want to make money, he wanted to make a real difference in the world. But in a town where most people settled for predictable jobs, that kind of ambition felt like a risky gamble. School was a challenge for him, but not because of the grades. It was the mindset. He saw his friends settling for factory work or moving to the city without a real plan. Liam, on the other hand, had this huge vision to start his own company, create a product that people would use all over the globe, and leave a lasting mark. High school became his first major turning point. His computer science teacher, Miss Hayes, saw something special in him. She pushed him to enter a statewide coding competition. "Don't let fear decide your future," she told him. And fear was a big deal for Liam. The fear of failing, of looking like a fool, of disappointing his parents. It was always there, whispering in his ear. But he also knew that doing nothing, letting that fear win, would be the biggest failure of all. So, he entered the competition. He poured everything he had into it, spending countless nights coding, debugging, and learning from every single mistake. When the results came in, he had won first place. That victory wasn't just a trophy on a shelf. It was proof that he could compete with the best. Proof that hard work and courage could beat fear. That moment ignited a fire inside him, pushing him toward goals that were bigger than he had ever dared to imagine. Next came college. Liam won a scholarship to a top university, leaving his small town in the rearview mirror. Suddenly, he was surrounded by students from wealthy, well-connected families. They had opportunities he'd never even known existed. The imposter syndrome hit him hard. He'd look at the massive lecture halls and high-tech labs and think, maybe I don't belong here. Maybe I'm not ready for this. But then he'd remember those long nights in his bedroom, wrestling with code all by himself. He'd remember Ms. Hayes' words. He realized that every small win had built his confidence, brick by brick. And every failure, that was just a lesson in disguise. So, he kept going. He persisted. During his sophomore year, Liam noticed a problem that everyone else seemed to be ignoring. Small, local businesses were getting crushed by online giants. They just didn't have the technology to compete. That's when the idea sparked. He started developing an app to help them manage their inventory, connect with customers, and sell their products online, all in one seamless platform. The first prototype was a mess. It crashed all the time. The design was confusing, and when he pitched it to investors, they practically laughed him out of the room. Even his friends told him it was a waste of time. But Liam had learned a vital lesson by then. Failure isn't the end. It's just feedback. So he kept iterating, kept improving, kept learning from the criticism, and refused to give up. By his senior year, things started to change. The app began to get traction. Angel investors were now paying attention. He found himself at a crossroads. Take a safe, high-paying job at a major tech company, or take the terrifying leap into entrepreneurship. The choice was agonizing. The thought of failing so publicly, of letting his family down, was almost paralyzing. But deep down, he knew which path he had to take. He realized that courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about being terrified and taking action anyway. Liam launched his startup. He had a tiny team, barely any money, but an absolute mountain of determination. Those first few months were brutal. Servers crashed right before big deadlines. Partnerships fell through in spectacular fashion. There were so many nights he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if he'd made the biggest mistake of his life. But he kept pushing forward, fueled by his vision to empower those small businesses he cared so much about. And slowly, painstakingly, success began to arrive. Local shops started using his platform, and their sales soared. They were connecting with customers like never before. The reviews turned from skeptical to glowing. Word of mouth started to spread like wildfire. Within just 3 years, Liam's app was being used all across the country, helping thousands of small businesses not just survive, but thrive in the digital age. But his story doesn't end there. Liam didn't just chase his own success, he wanted to help others find theirs. He became a mentor, speaking at schools and conferences. And he was brutally honest. He didn't just talk about the wins. He shared the messy, painful failures that shaped him, the late nights, the rejections, the constant self-doubt. His message was powerful and clear. Resilience and persistence will take you further than raw talent ever will. He even went back to his old hometown. He visited the local schools, encouraging students to dream bigger than their surroundings. He started scholarships, funded coding workshops, and built tech labs to give the next generation the opportunities he had to fight so hard for. His life became living proof that your circumstances don't define you. Your actions, your determination, and your refusal to quit, that's what matters. By the time he was 30, Liam's company was international. But he never lost sight of where he came from. He'd walk past that little diner where he spent hours coding as a teenager and remember that true motivation ain't about fame or money. It's about that internal fire that makes you get back up after every single fall, that pushes you to keep going when you're scared, and that allows you to believe in your own potential. Liam often said, "Your background doesn't define your future. Your mindset does." Every failure is a lesson, every doubt is a challenge, and every step forward brings you closer to your dreams. His journey became a beacon of hope for anyone striving to break through barriers and chase their own dreams, no matter how impossible they seem. He proved that no obstacle is too big, no beginning too humble, and no fear too strong to stop someone who simply refuses to quit. The story of Liam Thompson reminds us of a simple truth. Success is forged in the fires of persistence and courage. Every great dream starts with one small decision, the decision to try, to act, and to just keep moving forward, no matter what. And if one small town kid from Ohio can change the world, so can you. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next video.